Hello, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Uncovering Greatness podcast. As always, I am your host, Suli, and today I am joined by Barry Mitchell, who has just landed from Zambia, Lusaka. How was Zambia? How are you doing, firstly?
Hello, Suli, I'm good. Lusaka was great. Some wonderful clients there. One particular great client, Parata, Zambia. Love working with him. Spent the time in Lusaka. And it's a tough economy. We've been through a tough time. But I think it's like the world's tough at the moment, man.
Because now you went to Lusaka this past weekend, you leave again tomorrow to go to Harare.
Yeah.
What differences have you kind of noticed between like different countries, different economies, different businesses, different business owners? Like what's different between those countries and South Africa?
Nothing. They all have politicians that are screaming. I say that tongue in cheek, but no, I think what's different. So, different economies, different. But I think the biggest thing, Sully, that I see is I don't see a lot of governments in the world creating environments where people can really succeed. You know, for me, the job of a government is to create an environment where the citizens of that country can succeed safely. Not necessarily easily, but safely. And when I look all over the world at the moment, there's just so much. We're not looking after the people of countries, man. And it's not about giving people stuff, it's about teaching people how to build stuff. You know, as business owners, we build things. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We build things. You build a business. Why do you build a business? You build a business so, first of all, you can change your life. Second of all, you can help change other people's lives. Third, and the long-term goal, hopefully, is to make an impact on the world, to create, develop, build things that make humanity better. And I think sadly we've lost that all over the place. In this world today, and I see it everywhere, people are just so focused on themselves, what they can get, who they can screw, how they can screw the system, little things. I'm watching a video clip when I was sitting at the airport this morning, and someone's offering a reward for two people that walked into a restaurant. While everyone was busy, they walk into the back rooms, take a cell phone and a laptop, put it in their handbags and walk out. And I'm like, well, what has got us to the stage where people actually just think they can take shit from everybody else? And that's what happens is we have governments all around the world that, we were about to have a 2% increase. Why? So they can take from people to do what?
Nothing.
I don't mind paying 2% more if I stop seeing shacks.
Yeah.
I honestly.
100%.
Look, I can drive through potholes, but the first thing is let's have some. I'll pay 2% more if we start seeing people live in decent friggin' houses.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I was driving back from Alex, or driving through Alex the other day, and I came to the. I go there like once a month, but I don't know why I was on a different side. And the roads were, it wasn't really a road. Do you know what I mean? It was this, it had two levels to it.
And then there's a big pothole that comes through.
It's not even a pothole, that's a sinkhole. Like, it's just this giant thing. And you're like, okay, wait, but is it that it's this area because it's Alex, because it's a township that they don't get roads and things of that nature because taxes are being paid?
No, but certainly that road through Alex was great at one stage. It was great. For me, I can put up with the road, but it's when I drive through places like Alex and I see people living in absolute poverty and squalor, and I'm like, with everything we have in this world, why are we not building stuff? And I don't mean, the problem is everyone. I think the other problem is everyone wants to be given. So there's this whole thing, we'll give you.
Yeah.
Vote for me and I'll give you. I don't want to be given anything. I want the environment where we can build, where we can build successful businesses, build houses, build all that sort of stuff, and create an environment where we generate income from growth, and that growth fuels other growth. And that's how I look at it. That's for me why I want to run. Why one of the reasons why I build my businesses, and the other reason why I help other people build businesses. I want to see them grow. I want to see them be able to employ more people, teach more people how to change, how to create something different through business. You know, and I think that's the need. Doesn't matter where I go in the world. I mean, like them or don't like them, agree with them, think that they, I don't know, the second coming of Hitler, whatever people think. You know, there's so many friggin' opinions. But what it does show me as well is how stupid people have become.
Yes.
You know, but you know, Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Trump's government have come in and just done something that people have been threatening to do for years and years and years and years. Talk. But they've come in and they go, no, enough of the fat, enough of the abuse, enough of the just take tax from people and use it wherever the heck we feel like using it because we're in charge. Enough of that, you know. And as tax-paying citizens, surely we should have a say.
For sure.
I think we've lost our say. We have a lot of people say, "Oh no, vote, cuck man."
That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, we don't have a say.
Yeah.
We don't vote on the budget. We don't vote on where money is being used.
Yeah.
We don't vote. We're the audits. What happens when people get? You know what? Surely, what happens to us when we get audited?
Yeah, SARS comes after
you. Do SARS,
yeah.
SIPC, they come after you. They're friggin' now. Why are we not? And that's what I'm seeing with Trump and them. We'll see how it plays out. I'm not making any statements about who they may be in the future or may not be. But the reality is, I just watch it and go, bloody hell.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. It's weird because I don't really agree a lot with Trump things, but I think this one is a bit different. This whole trimming down the budget, trimming down money that's being spent. And I saw Elon tweeted something interesting this weekend. He said, I wonder if we could set up something where we have people who work in government, like they must send at the end of every week, they must send a report of what they achieved.
You know what he said?
What?
You know what he said? He said, he sent out Trump tweeted and said Elon's doing a great job, but I would like him to be more aggressive.
Okay.
So Elon tweeted back saying, thank you, and I got it. And the next thing, there's this email apparently that's gone out where they're now asking that everyone in the federal thing by the end of the week needs to send an email to their superiors saying the 5 things they did last week.
Yeah, that.
And everyone's all pissed off.
I was like,
and I'm like,
why is that a bad idea? Like as a citizen,
but that's how we should be running business.
100%.
So I don't want to get into the political side of this.
Yeah.
But I want to take it back into business. Why aren't we doing that in our businesses?
100%. Like, why wouldn't you want to know what your employees are doing?
But that's the biggest problem in our businesses today, Sudi. It's people are rocking up and not doing what they're being paid to do, and justifying why they should earn money and why. So
it's a level of government grants in a sense.
It's not only in government.
Yeah.
You see it in all businesses.
Yeah, for sure.
How many people rock up and justify their existence and complain why they're not getting paid enough, but they're not delivering on what they're getting paid to do, and they'll sit and whinge and whine. How many business owners are complaining that the economy is tough, but they made a decision they were going to make 10 calls this week and they haven't done their calls, and they made a decision they were going to do their finances and they haven't done the finances? What's the friggin' difference? It comes down to that key word, accountability. An absolute lack of friggin' accountability.
Yeah.
Accountability and responsibility. You know, as Blair Singer says, the ability to live above the line, take responsibility. No excuses, justification, laying blame or denial. And I just think in business, a commonality that I see wherever I go is people in business owners, but a lot of times employees, managers. How many times do you see in business that businesses have gone down because people in the business are corrupt and we're doing things that they shouldn't have been doing?
Oh yeah, too many times.
You know,
a multitude of businesses that we see that with, and I mean it's I feel like it's such an interesting concept because to me we kind of do that on our Monday meetings, right? So we have a weekly to do, for example.
100%.
You come back at the end of the week. Well, Monday you come back and you say, did you do what you were supposed to do? Yes or no? No. And those things are tied, essentially all those things are tied to, if you would look at it, like what's in your contract. Like
100%.
what did you sign up? And I think that's also the crazy part.
You don't get to ask to do a lot of stuff that's not in your field of expertise.
No, I don't get asked to teach.
You don't get asked to teach.
Yeah.
You don't get asked to develop a training program.
No.
You don't get asked to go close deals in companies.
Yeah.
So you get asked to do what you put up your hand to do. You say, I'll run Entrepreneur Hangout. Great. What does it mean to run Entrepreneur Hangout? I'll do all the marketing. I'll put the people in the room up. Great. So you put your hand up. And over a period of time, you get remunerated accordingly. And that's how we work.
Yeah.
And the difference is we work like business owners where you get a remuneration, but you get an up end based on whether we make this thing work or not.
And that all ties into is everybody doing it can only work if everybody's doing their things in their job contract. It can't work for example, if your job contract says that you must deliver X amount of training days, and you don't, we can't reach our goal to get to where we want to get to. But
100%.
You can't make excuses or justify or blame anybody because you're supposed to do your piece. You put your hand up and say, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm capable of doing. And I think that it's so fascinating because we actually don't see that, right? Because I was thinking about it also in like the concept of teams from a sport perspective. Guys don't win World Cups and things like that based on one person being able to be the star.
100%. And guys don't win World Cups because they got given the World Cup.
No.
No, but how many people would watch friggin' soccer if the soccer players voted for someone to give them the cup? I mean, think about that. But that's what we want. We want people to give us
the World Cup.
Where's the competition? Where's the growth? Where's our application of our mind gone? It's gone. Yeah. And that's what people want in business. They want to rock up, have a job. They want to have a job. They don't want to do a job. And that's for me, one of the biggest friggin' problems in businesses is too many people are entitled, irresponsible, and lack accountability. And they are the first people that friggin' jump up and down and complain about when things aren't working, but they won't look at themselves and say, where am I not doing what I should have been paid to do?
Yeah.
And if everyone, Suli, delivers on what we're meant to be paid to do, you know, I mean, like, I saw a classic, I don't know, picture on Facebook, a meme.
Meme.
Two comparative pictures. The first picture was one guy in a hole digging. 9 guys, you know where I'm going. 9 guys standing there, all in overalls, and it says before Doge.
Yes.
The second one is one guy, the same guy, still in a hole digging with no one around him, and it says after Doge. And people will get all upset about that. But that's the truth. There's 10 people. 10 people are employed to dig holes. So why are 10 people digging holes?
Yeah.
What would happen is we would be way more productive, way more efficient. We'd get things done. Things would freaking change. You know, I mean, I saw it. I'm driving back down Atlas Road from the airport today, and I had to say to Nicole, watch, because the verge in the middle is like this high now because no one's. And people will say, oh, it's been raining. Cuck, man, it rained for 4 days.
Yeah, it hasn't been raining for 2 months.
It hasn't rained so that the grass can get 7 foot tall, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but the reality is because someone who has a job to manage people who have a job just couldn't be bothered.
So why would I be bothered?
And we jump up and down that it's governments, but how many people that are jumping up and down complaining about, I'm not saying that it's right for governments, but how many people that are jumping up and down complaining that the government's not delivering, are not delivering on their job, are not delivering in their business, are not even delivering in their own friggin' lives, man?
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, there's so much there to just unpack, right? If you take that example of cutting grass on the municipality things that they're supposed to do. There's a tender that goes out, somebody gets it.
Yeah.
It's so easy to turn around and blame government.
Somebody got the tender, chum.
Somebody got
the tender.
They didn't do it. And that's but why would I, so for example, you get the tender, right? You own a grass cutting company. You get the tender. I then work for you.
Yeah.
You don't rock up. You don't rock up to site. You don't rock up to the office, nothing. why would I rock up as the guy who's going to be cutting the grass?
100%.
You're going to pay me. Why would I rock up?
So that whole culture goes through, it goes into businesses.
Yeah.
But it's not even a government tender. You watch it. The amount of times I see people sit in meetings, promise they're going to do things. You know, I mean, it never happens in our business.
No, never. I mean, we've sailed through everything.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How many times do we sit down and go, yes, I'm going to do it, and we don't do it?
Oh, I can
And
tell you I've done that for years.
and you're like, come on, man, if all we did, and the stuff that we don't do, generally is not rocket science stuff.
No, it's actually the simplest.
It's stuff we've been hired to do. It's stuff that if we don't know how to do, we can put up a hand and say,
I don't know what
I
you're
need
going to do
training.
here. Yeah, yeah.
But what happens is we don't, and then we complain, and then it's, well, why should I have to do that, and who told me to do that, and if people spend more time, if people spend time actually focused on delivering what they needed to deliver versus the time that they spend on trying to make excuses and cover their ass, shit, they would be productive.
Yeah.
Biggest weakness in any business is people. It is. People, you know?
Yeah.
And then what happens? We go on a rah team building frigging thing, woo, and everyone has a lacquer weekend.
Amazing.
The company pays a whole lot of money, and 2 weeks later everyone's back to the same shit. Why? Because we're not shifting mindsets.
Yeah. I mean, would you say that it's also a thing of, it's a post that I see from Gary Vee very often. He says, I don't expect my employees to care about the business as much as I do because it's not their business.
I wouldn't expect you or Michaela to or anyone in our team to care about the business as much as I do, because I'm the founder of the business. I have overall responsibility. Why would you care as much as I do?
Okay, but then what is the expectation? Is there an expectation?
Care about your job as much as I care about my business.
There we go.
Let me say it again. Care about your job as much as I care about my business. You see, it's both responsibility, but it's a different level of responsibility.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
But for my level, for example, it becomes a bigger level because I've now got to care about my job
100%.
at a much higher level than I would have before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why care about your job? Because that's your life. It's your life. It's like that. People rock up to work every day, Sully, and they treat it like tomorrow they're going to get something better. So I'll wait until I get something better.
I mean, we're really seeing that there's something better it's existing less and less now, right? Because there's less and less jobs.
But you create something better, Sully.
Oh, okay.
You create something better by being and doing what you want to have better. How many times have you heard someone who didn't perform in a company gets poached somewhere else and goes, yeah, well, the reason I left there is because those guys are da-da-da.
Yeah.
They go to a new place and they're all, I've got this new job and look how much they're being paid, and 6 months later you find they've either left or they've been kicked out. Why? Because it's not the job, it's they cuck. They cuck. They take the same habits, the same stuff, and eventually they'll complain and it's the other person's fault. So, last time I looked at what I do for a living, my business and generating income and teaching and training people and making money to invest, all those type of things. That's my Olympic Games. That's what I do in order to get my medal. I want a gold medal.
Yeah.
So if I want a gold medal, I better focus on doing it. And it's that journey. But people want to be given the gold medal in their job. No, I won't do it until you give me more money. No, but you signed up to do it for that amount of money and you're not doing it. So if you're not prepared to do it, why should I give you money?
Interesting.
Think about this. In most companies, what's the one thing that is always delivered on?
Salaries.
100%. And when HR is late, or when salaries are late, oh shit, all hell breaks loose. How dare you do that, and how dare you affect me?
I have bills, I have a life.
Great. But the same people that are jumping up and down are the people that continuously never frigging deliver on their jobs.
Yeah.
They don't come to work on time, they don't hand in their sales reports, they don't make their sales calls, they don't manage their productivity, they don't hand in their financial report, whatever their job is. And there's a reason why they couldn't do it. If HR and payroll acted like many people within a business act and never hit deadlines, how often would people get paid?
No.
So that's what I say. You've heard me say. I say to people, Next time you're going to make an excuse or not deliver on what you've agreed to deliver on, imagine that you were in HR and payroll and you were about to make the same excuse to pay yourself your salary. How would you feel if the payroll lady said, oh, sorry, I didn't pay you guys last week because I was in Mauritius. I didn't pay you guys last week because I was sick. How many times do people use those excuses? Yeah, but I was on leave. Yeah, but I was sick. Yeah, but I was too busy doing other stuff. Imagine if HR said that.
I was too busy focused on HR cases to actually pay salary.
100%.
Yeah.
And for me, that's the culture of the world. I think it's become, we talked about a COVID pandemic. Friggin' heck, a lack of responsibility, accountability. That's the pandemic in the world.
Yeah.
It is.
And the crazy thing is, so I heard this saying from, I'm paraphrasing, so bear with me here. I'm going to just get to the crux of it. It was something that Jesus said in the Bible, was basically put myself last so that I can put others first. So like something along serving, so that I can get, so that everybody can get the result that we're all looking for, right? And I thought about that in like a business context. Because for me, so for example, when you hear about payouts from leaders, like leaders get paid out at the end of a financial year and maybe they get 100 million and people are like, how is you getting so much and
That's unfair.
It's so unfair. But then I went and I did some research and a lot of it is actually like, these guys get stock options, they get shares, it's not like they're getting paid $100 million in cash into their bank accounts.
100%.
And it made me think there's so much, when it comes to like money and earning and investing and all those, there's actually a massive lack of understanding.
Oh, surely.
It's so easy to run and jump on the riches, like not the wealthy, the 1%. It's easier to jump on their heads and be like, oh, you guys are eating all the money versus, wait, but what are they actually doing? Like, I mean, Mr. Beast was talking about, he was on the Diary of a CEO, and he was talking about he has less than $1 million in his bank account. And he was like, I'm worth a billion, apparently, on paper.
Yeah.
But that's paper. It's nothing tangible right now. I can utilize that to go to a bank and say, I would like a loan based off X. But people don't understand that, right? People kind of just, they look at it and they go, it's $100 million, or Mr. Beast has $1 billion in his bank account right now. And I'm like, yeah, but that's just not feasible to understand that. But also, what do they do? What are they doing and what do they do to generate that? Like, Mr. Beast is willing to do whatever's needed to be done.
And people think, oh, you got lucky.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I was like Mr. Beast.
You don't.
So your scripture, just quickly, was, but many who are first will be last, and many who are last will be first. And that's Matthew 19, verse 30. And the deal is for, in my take on that, that's all about serving.
100%.
When you serve others and you put others first. Well, basically in the context of what Jesus is saying, you'll be first with eternal life. And if you put yourself first and stuff everybody else, well, you're going to come last. Why? Because it's also on the principle of exchange and the principle of reciprocity.
And I mean, we see that so much with employees, right? And they have that misunderstanding about it.
I'm going to take...
I got to, at the end of the month, the 26th, 27th, or whatever it is that you get paid, give me mine and then I'll do my work. And I'm like, okay, so what happens for the rest of the month though? Like, are you doing your work for the rest of the month, or are you only doing it for that period after you get paid? Because I feel like that's also people.
Well, how many times do you see that with people in business? Business owners, people building businesses. They get what they want, they're meant to pay you money, and then they don't, and then they screw you.
Yeah.
That's putting themselves first. And then they don't take responsibility and all that. The same people will complain about the government.
Yeah.
The same people will complain that the government's screwing them.
Well, like, where did you start? Yeah, start somewhere. And I think you're speaking about that last week of it. Like, basically, like, you think that it's not going to come back to you, but it's coming back to you
100%.
right in front of you. It's not coming back to you in the future. It's happening to you now, but you can't see it.
So for me, that's the pandemic that we have. And then you take it to what you're talking about now. People don't understand money, Sue. They don't understand where it comes from. They don't understand how it's created. I mean, I was with a client recently, and I was talking to their team. They were all upset, and and what came up was, again, how come senior management get paid and the MD gets this and I was like, okay, let me ask you guys a question. Who's overall responsible for the company? MD. I said, okay, good. So would you like that position? Yeah, because you know we get paid. I said, okay, great. And he's responsible for you and all your families. Yeah, we know that. I'm like, okay, so that's the responsibility. Okay, good. So you have some drivers, and they said yes. I said, great. So you have a driver that goes out, and that driver's unlicensed. Why? Because maybe that driver faked his license, and that driver goes out and kills some people. And that driver was meant to get the car serviced, but never did, but told everyone that the car serviced. Who's liable for that? The MD. And the MD can be held criminally liable in his own personal capacity.
Man.
So now you go, okay, well, do you want that? You see, so people, it's like the business owner. Oh, the business owner does this, and the business owner, who at the end of the month, when the sales team hasn't made sales, has to go and add on another mortgage to their house, has to borrow money from a mate at 20% interest, has to, I don't know, borrow from some of these lending houses at ridiculous amounts to make sure that the team get paid and the staff get paid and the rent gets paid in the hope that next week we're going to pull through. Who does that? The business owner. So there's an absolute lack of understanding of where money comes from. And even within jobs, people just think, oh, if I rock up, I should get paid. But you're going to get paid to do what?
And you know, that's the when you're speaking, the thought that popped into my head was us during COVID, right? You and Nicole had to sacrifice a lot, get to sell a lot.
We liquidated all our assets in COVID.
To keep the business going.
Yeah. Did you go for a month where you didn't get paid?
No.
18 months you got paid?
Yeah, and I didn't even have to ask for it.
Everyone got paid for 18 months?
Yeah, never had to chase for it, never had to fight for it.
100%.
Never had to make a big thing out of it.
And did I make a big thing about how tough it was for me?
No, and that's what I was actually getting to, right? Because most business owners, I feel nowadays, would have been like, you have no idea what I'm doing to keep this business alive. And my response, I wouldn't have said it, but I would have been like, I don't. Because I'm not having to do that. It's not essentially my responsibility. But my responsibility now is, for example, during that time, was to get on calls and make sure that our back end is running.
And how many people didn't do that? How many people were sitting in their pajamas, pretending to work, but they still wanted their salary at the end of the month? And someone somewhere was sacrificing something to make sure they got paid. Yeah. So it's it comes, and I think. I mean, I know I started talking about governments and politicians, but I just think it's something that is so entrenched in friggin' society these days.
There's become this massive over-reliance, and it's so much easier to blame governments and politicians than it is for us to put our hands up and be like, what am I responsible for? What am I? Like, I remember when we first started working together, like 2014, 2015, and we were having a conversation about something, and you said something to me along the lines of, you don't pay bribes because it's against your code of honor, it's against what you do because it's going to come. And I was like, why would you do that in a country like this where that's the way that this works, right? So then I started to adopt it. And I realized how much it started to change me because I was taking responsibility. Well, if I'm paying a bribe here, where else will I pay a bribe?
Yeah.
Because it opens up so many things. And if I'm allowing a cop to take a bribe from me, what am I actually saying here? Because I've done something wrong. I didn't have my license, or I went over a red road, but whatever it is, I did something wrong. I broke the law. I should be held accountable. By paying, the accountability goes away. And it's so easy for us to blame politicians and say they do this and they do that, but like, how many times are you doing something simple like paying a bribe? It may be a Coke, but it's there's an exchange.
So what happens is we all get out of exchange. We get out of exchange. So don't get me wrong. I think one of the biggest problems we have in the world is the status of how governments have evolved and democracies evolved. And I just think the world's lost absolute control. That's why so many people are up in arms with Trump and Musk, because they're saying no. This is, I read a thing, people saying government's not a business. Government is a friggin' business. The problem is it's not run like a business. So guess what? It's not run like a business. And so what does a business have to do? A business has to deliver in order to make money. If you don't deliver in your business, customers go somewhere else. The problem in governments is they don't deliver. They don't run it like a business. They don't deliver, but they still take money. So there's this pool of money. Where does it come from? It comes from a group of entrepreneurs, business owners, people building businesses, people investing to create something, and there's a group of people that say, we'll take it. We'll increase your tax, like, I don't know, people, there's the big thing about tax the rich.
Yeah.
Friggin' heck, the rich are paying a huge amount of money.
Massive.
Or the people that are saying tax the rich for the rich guy that's invested his life savings to build a factory that houses 1,000 people. Okay, houses 1,000 people, and those people every day go to work, can feed their family. Okay, so go double the tax on that guy. You know what that guy's going to do?
Bugger off.
I'm telling you what he's going to do. He's going to put a big fat finger, say, go shove your stuff up wherever it is. I have enough money. I'm going to liquidate my business. I'm out of here. I'll go live somewhere else. And then what happens to those 1,000 people?
They're out of jobs.
Now they're without jobs, and then they're complaining.
I mean, that was pretty similar to what happened last week within the steel industry. They wanted to increase taxes and whatever, and they said so the steel workers were protesting, and they said, you can't do that. Please don't do that because it's going to affect our jobs. It went as far as one of the people involved in the union went to Toyota and said, see, everybody's talking about the 1,000 jobs that you guys as the steel workers are going to lose, but you're forgetting about the factories where these things go to.
Yeah.
The Toyotas, the other parts of where these things are utilized. So it's not going to be 1,000 jobs lost.
Yes.
We're looking at 30,000 jobs 100%. That are going to be lost all of a sudden.
100%.
And I'm like, people don't grasp these things.
So that we can get some tax. And the reality is where's that tax going to go? It's not going to go to fix stuff.
Anything.
It's going to go somewhere that often it shouldn't go. And somewhere that you like. That's why I said, if it was actually going to fix roads and to put people in proper houses, not friggin' shitty houses that when you kick the wall falls down. not that bullshit. When it goes to a proper house, when it goes to housing people, looking after people, changing stuff, I look at some of these like big townhouse complexes that are going up. Why is money not going into that for people that are unhoused? Why are we not building wonderful apartment blocks like that, putting people in nice places, and then holding them accountable to that? But you see, the problem is what happens, and this is the law of exchange, is you go create something that no one had to invest in and build, and then I give it to you. Well, how much value do you have in that?
Zero.
You don't. And so your mind is, I still have no money, so I can't look after this, and now you must look after it for me. And then this whole wheel just keeps going, and it's the same in business. If I keep rewarding you for not doing your job, well, guess what? You're going to keep not doing your job, then you want more money. And you don't do your job. Well, who's to blame? Me, because I'm not holding you accountable. So it goes back to that game of accountability and responsibility. And that's what we have to drive.
Feel that.
And I think globally we've lost that, and that's the game that I see Trump and them playing. I don't know, maybe they have huge ulterior motives. I don't know. I'm not going down that route, but I'm just watching what they're doing, and I'm going.
It's a step in the right direction.
If Trump or Musk, if they went into a business, which government should be, if they went into business, what would they do? What did Musk do with X?
Yeah,
cut all the fat.
Yeah.
And all the shareholders were jumping up and down saying you couldn't do that?
No,
they didn't.
No.
Because that's what you do.
No.
You have to do that, otherwise over time that business will collapse. The problem is that in governments and that type of stuff, one, they control tax, two, they control the printing press. So they print money. When they need more money, they print it. Look at the US. What's the US? If I get it right, so what are they? $37 trillion in debt.
I had the same thing. It was
$37 trillion in debt. Each American, if you break that down, owes 65. I think the number was something like $65,000 US. Don't fact check me, but it's a shitload of money.
Yeah.
$65,000 US. If the debt was, if they had to pay all that debt now, that's what every every American owes. I read something very similar. South Africa right now is something like 3.1 trillion rand in debt, which means every South African owes the tune of 55,000 rand. I think it was 55,000 rand, something to that effect.
Yeah.
What it is, it's a lot more money than the average person earns,
Yep.
and why should we be there? But the reality is, guess what the easy way to do it is? I know we'll just tax you guys more, or we'll just print more money. Why? Because nothing is actually being created to generate the exchange of money. So if you take the principle of exchange, and it's exactly the same for business, you want to make more money in your business, you have to offer more.
Yeah.
You have to offer more, and people will pay for more.
Yeah.
You have to offer more product, a better service, whatever it is. But your value offering has to go up, and you will attract more. Or you have to offer the same and find more people who want it. So what do? And why would a government be any different? Surely that's the logical way to work. If we want to get more, then we must deliver more. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If we want to get more, then we must deliver more.
Yeah.
But we have to stand by our delivery. So if we say we're going to fix roads, if we say we're going to create an environment that fosters business growth, if we say that we are going to create an environment where we will attract R1 trillion worth of investment in the next 5 years, we'll do it. And when people see that happening, when you're driving around and you're seeing that your verges are being cut and that your roads are being fixed and that homeless people are being put in homes and that shacks are no longer shacks because they're being turned into apartment blocks and all that sort of stuff. Well, I don't know about you, I'll go, shit, okay, I'm happy to pay tax.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'd always like to pay less. But guess what?
Now we're seeing it go
Now
somewhere.
I'm seeing it go somewhere. Why would I complain? But and that's the same. So if you really get what I'm trying to get at today, what's the difference in business? It's the same. You want to get more from your business, deliver more to your boss.
Yeah.
You want to get more from your customers, deliver more to your customers. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So,
ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. This has been another episode of the Uncovering Greatness podcast. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget, 13th of March, we have Entrepreneur Hangouts happening at the Fat Ginger. $550 gets you in. Nicole will be teaching on bank, which you can actually use to do what Barry just what he spoke about there. You can use this personality profile to get you there. So book your seats.
yeah, learn how to connect with people better, because this is a world of people.
Yeah.
And most people are not connecting with people properly. That's why we have so much shit in the world, because people are ineffective communicators.
There we go.
Yeah.
This has been the Uncovering Greatness podcast. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Stay blessed.